No, not in a way. It is.
It is.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, now since like, do you guys think like as young people now, do you think that actually young people's involvement in the political space is actually the key to our economic development as a country?
Yeah, please.
If I am to answer that question, Sunday, as I said earlier on, I'm sitting with a scholar, so I will need his guidance wherever possible. But you know, Sunday, there is a saying that goes that the system and the policy that worked yesterday may necessarily not work today. Those on the grassroots know what is needed in the grassroots. You only are able to relate if you had felt the pain. You understand, Sunday? Okay. So I believe that in terms of economic growth, if we want to see economic change and economic growth, who is the key to our economic growth? Who is the key to the change that we want to see? Is it the member of parliament that has been a member of parliament for that has been part of the almost the 8th session of the National Assembly, starting from whenever the independent Namibian Assembly was established? Is that the member of parliament that will know what is needed on the grassroots? Or is it the Armando that is coming out of university and does not know what tomorrow holds for him because he does not know what the job market is? Maybe the job market is completely exhausted. So I believe that if we want to see economic change, economic growth, and if we want to see our economic system as a whole changing, I believe that it is only those that can relate, that can be able to implement the change. Because the economic policy, which was established in 1919, cannot reflect today
to
the needs of today. That comes undisputed. Yes. So I believe that if you, in terms of economic growth and youth, those two can never be divorced. Yeah. Because it is only young people that can speak of.
We make up the larger proportion of the population.
So it is only young people that can relate. Yeah. It is only young people that can be the drivers of the economic change that we want. Because it is only them that can feel the, how should I say, the heat outside there in the grassroots level. Exactly. So I believe that if we need economic change, again, not only in politics, but we said politics is the umbrella of everything that we do. So economics is under politics too. Yeah. So again, bring young people in there so that they can relate and change the system economically.
Yeah, exactly. Changing the problem that we actually like facing.
Yes.
And all that.
I think Armando has stated it very well. Only we can understand our own problems, and we are the best chance to solving our own problems. Yeah. I think that is clear. What I want to add is, statistically speaking, Namibia is the second most unequal country in the world.
Really?
Let me explain. The gap between the richest and the poorest is second most highest in the world in Namibia. That means when you are rich, you are truly rich. When you are poor, you are truly poor. Yeah. That gap is so broad in Namibia that it is alarming. But I remember in my third year, I had governmental studies, and as part of my class, I did an assignment, and it's called the Unsympathetic State. It's when government and politicians that are in high offices, they are so disattached from what is happening on the ground that their policy setting and their sentiments do not bring development. Let me explain it practically. For example, there was a day that our president, His Excellency,
just stand like this.
His Excellency, he made a comment on social media stating that no, the government is not God, government can't create jobs. Even at another instant, he said young people are lazy, young people are they themselves are the reasons they are not getting jobs and whatnot. First of all, I agree with His Excellency. True, young people are lazy. But even more important is that our president has always been privileged, well, at least now in his life. Yeah. He cannot relate with me and you that can't even afford taxi money from here to the nearest shop. So his mind is on fourth industrial revolution, coding and whatever. You know, all those big things, man. NDP, whatever. Forgetting that there are people that don't have jobs, can't afford taxi money, can't afford bread for their children and whatnot. And therefore, you are creating an angry youth. It's when the state and government, they are so far that they cannot relate with what is actually happening on the ground. And what is happening on the ground? People are resorting to informal settlements. Recently, our president said that he hates informal settlements. He wants them to be gone in 5 years.
In 5 years, yeah.
If truly those sentiments he could relate, if he's affected like me and you, by now he could have had a drastic declared state of emergency on housing. Declare state of emergency on housing, how we can focus on making sure that every Namibian has a house, every Namibian has access. But that has never been done in our country. And it's because our state is unsympathetic. State does not understand what the people feel versus what it must do. So that gap is so wide. That is why an individual, one of the advisors to the president, a beautiful lady, wonderful auntie, Daisy, goes on social media and she states that the only reason young people are not getting jobs is because they don't know how to find opportunities. Like, there are so many opportunities for jobs. It's just that young people just don't know what to do, or they are just lazy, or commentary like that, man. Like I said, I respect Her Excellency, Miss Daisy. Wonderful lady,
Daisy
very
Matthews.
competent. Yeah, very wonderful lady. I've actually personally met her a lot of times. But that sentiment was so unsympathetic. It comes from a privileged perspective. So even if I respect her as a person, I very politically disagree with that kind of sentiment, because it doesn't relate with what me and you actually feel on the ground. It is that, yes, even with all this potential and my degree in public management, major in political science, I still can't score a job. That does not make me incompetent. It does not make me lazy. It is just that 56% of us will not get a job in the economy. Like, that means at every given moment, 56% of us will not. That means 10 out of every 6 people that apply will not get a job. Equally for me, 6 out of every 5 times I apply, I'm most likely not to get a job. That has nothing to do with my competence, because I've done my part, gotten my degree. But everything to do with government inability to provide the policies, provide the space, and provide the environment that will enable me to get a job. You get what I mean? So like, as young people, it's not that there's something wrong with us, but it is that we live in a state and government that it is that's so privileged, and that always speaks from that perspective. That is why I feel like our country shouldn't even be focusing on 4th industrial revolution, while we haven't even fully accomplished the third. Although some political analysts will say no, but we must move forward to look back. You see that kind of argument. We must look forward to move back, but at what cost?
I just like to, now the scholar has spoken, but let me speak now from a political perspective on why that might be. So firstly, Sunday, government is a structure. We have the executive, and in the executive we have ministers who make up the executive. Sunday, I'm not defending any policy of government, but I want to make it clear now that, okay, policies can be put in place, Ginola. We can say we want to do this, we want to do that, and the presidency can launch a policy. But to what extent will the policy be carried out? We can say green hydrogen and ammonia will create this much employment, but again, it is not the president that is staying that project. It will be subdivided into all government ministries and agencies that are affected or conflicted in the project. So again, it brings us back to individual independence and individual development. Do you know, like, if you are developed as a human being, you will know that if I am to take 10 breaths while there are only 10, what will my brother behind get? So it comes to individual discipline, where you are privileged, but yet you know that people out there are not privileged as much as I am. So that you know that if this policy is to be effective, I need to be disciplined. If I'm chairing this committee on green hydrogen and ammonia, I must not be politically conflicted. I must not be politically influenced. Then only will this project yield the fruit that we want. So again, it comes back to individual development and individual discipline. That's the only way I believe that a government can also grow, because the leader can be good, but if the subordinates are not good, believe me, you Ginola, we will forever remain an unequal society. And again, another aspect that I want to touch on why it might be that we are an unequal society is that we are a developing country, Ginola. So if we get, for instance, billions of dollars we already have problems that are standing that we need to solve. So that money that we got, unfortunately, Ginola, we cannot put into a new project that can create employment, a new project that can improve the standard of living, a new project that can improve housing.
Go back to go forward.
You see, so we will forever be going back to improving the problems that we have. So that might again be another aspect from a political perspective that we can look at why employment is not happening, why economic growth is not taking place.
And please,